Load.
Yoshi and the Mysterious Book has been high on my list of Switch 2 games to check out. From the first time I set eyes on Yoshi's latest outing, I was in love with its unique art style and storybook gameplay. And after playing it for about 2 hours at a recent preview, I'm surprised by what I experienced. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book takes place within the pages of the eponymous book, known as Mr. E. For reasons unrevealed to me during the preview, Mr. E needs help discovering his own content. To help him, you'll need to explore the book as Yoshi, jumping into its pages. Each chapter contains a series of objectives, and each of those objectives is dedicated to learning more about a specific creature that inhabits that chapter. My first trip into Mr. E's pages was to learn more about these little flower creatures. In here, I learned that Yoshi and the Mysterious Book was a very different game than what I had originally assumed. On the surface, Yoshi's new outing looks like a traditional 2D platformer with some interesting informational pieces added about the creatures you encounter along the way. Instead, this feels more like an exploration game with platforming elements. In the time I played, there were no power-ups, no damage, or lives. Instead, you can roam each chapter without consequence or failure. Initially, I thought this was a bad thing, something that would be subtractive from the overall experience, but I ended up coming around on it and enjoying the more relaxed pace of this game. Rather than fixed objectives like reaching the end of a stage or collecting an item, you're often tasked with learning as much as you can by putting whatever creature you're following into interesting situations. This is the key difference between Yoshi and the Mysterious Book and previous standalone Yoshi games. Instead of a Mario spin-off, Mysterious Book feels more like a genre unto itself. It's a decidedly slower game, encouraging the player to look around every corner rather than racing toward a goal. While speedrunners will certainly find fun and interesting ways to blast through Yoshi's latest adventure quickly, the idea of doing so feels antithetical to its design. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book doesn't reward you for speed or penalize you for taking your time. It encourages your curiosity while still feeling familiar to fans of previous entries. You can still flutter jump, ground pound, and throw eggs. You can still swap Yoshi colors, and a lot of familiar faces show up in the pages of the Mysterious Book. While previous Yoshi games were rife with little secrets hidden within their levels, Mysterious Book is all secrets. When you're inside the book in your hand-drawn, almost stop-motion-esque animated version of Yoshi, your task is to explore at whatever pace feels comfortable to you. To basically ask and answer questions about what you're finding, and the level design is incredibly clever in that respect. There seem to be interactions between every character and every element of every stage. I fed a flower an apple and it changed the flower's petals. And once that happened, any flowers bloomed by touching that newly color-changed flower bloomed in a matching hue. Ground pounding a flower created a patch of grass as it dug its way out of the soil. Giving this little guy, called Glubbit, various foods changed the properties of the bubbles it blows. By giving it a hearty radish, I was able to make heart-shaped bubbles. Every time I found a small discovery like this, I wondered what else was hiding in plain sight for me to figure out. At one point during my session, Yoshi was in an area full of seemingly breakable rocks, but I couldn't figure out how to break them. Ground pounding, jumping, running at them, nothing got me closer to an answer. All around the area, however, I found these fluffy puffball-like plants that would scatter and bloom on things as I kicked them up. I noticed they started landing, and subsequently blooming, on the rock. Once enough had sprouted, I was able to smash the rock with a ground pound. It was an aha moment for me that made everything make sense. It didn't wash away my concerns, but the idea that this was a game solely about exploration and puzzle solving through experimentation started to click. Once I settled into the more relaxed nature of the game, I was having a blast. Just beyond one of those rocks, I found a big creature sleeping, and I wondered, what if I could get these little puffballs to bloom on it? So I tried, and before I knew it, I had sent the poor beast packing, and sure enough, I had unlocked a new entry in the book. Each section of the book includes a sort of primary objective, even if it doesn't tell you that. Once you complete that objective, you have the option to keep going, unlocking new discoveries as you do, or exit the book and review your findings. Each time you leave, you'll be presented with a list of all the things you learned, along with something new that you missed to keep you coming back. That is a really cool idea. Had I not been in a time-limited preview, I would have kept diving into the same area, trying to find everything before moving on to the next part of the game. If you're stuck, you can also spend coins collected in levels to buy hints. I have no idea if you get anything for 100%ing a chapter, but given the assists you get for finding everything, I'd be surprised if Nintendo didn't have something in store for those that want to fully complete each chapter. Over the 2 hours I played of Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, I experienced so many fun things. I made these frog-like creatures play music, I gave Shy Guys rides and let them guide me toward treasures, and I planted flowers with one of these little dudes. Yes, that's what I named them in the game, on my back. I even fought Bowser Jr. and Kamek on what looks like a UFO while controlling the same creature I scared off earlier. I discovered things both new and familiar to the Mario universe in my brief time between the pages of the Mysterious Book, and while I have reservations about how it may fare with players expecting a more straightforward platforming experience, I'm excited about its potential. Yoshi's latest adventure has all the things I love about previous entries: beautiful art, great music, and platforming that feels every bit as solid as any of Mario's outings. The jury's still out on where Yoshi and the Mysterious Book will land for me, but after trying it out, I want to play it even more than I did before.